So y'all, 6:25 a.m. checking in. I want to talk about why a lot of us guys are lustful. It can be like in a way like in what you think or whatever, or you think it's that. But the truth is, or I could say, that a lot of the times it's deep rooted. A lot of the times it's growing up. It's seeing certain things. You probably went to over somebody's house. You probably was sitting down. A woman came over your house dressed in a certain way. You was probably like a young kid or a family friend, or it could be even your mother, like in some cases, bro. And this is out of your control. They do certain things. Innuendos. You know what I'm saying? Or you could be at somebody's house, a woman, they dress a certain way. They do certain things and they mask it as playful. Or they mask it as, oh my goodness, I gotta put my clothes on, you know what I'm saying? And you damn near done seen her whole little things poking out. You know what I'm saying? Or you seen somebody walk out of a room, I don't know if they was sleeping around, close, huddled together or something. You seen certain things, bro. Or you being told certain things. I think you gonna be this type of guy. The lady is gonna like you. You ain't even freaking, you barely even sweat at a young age. Some of the people that you go around, you could have like brothers or whatever, sisters, or them doing certain things or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of the times, it's probably like how your father is, your grandpa, how they talk about like women and stuff like that, and what type of woman they choose. Yes, it's like they could be a certain way. They could be this. She could have kids. She could have that. She could be so-called great. People look at her as a mother, but there's always something there's always a trait that our father chooses in this girl. A lot of times it's a deviant energy. It's always kind of lustful. You know what I'm saying? This is what I kind of notice. Like, it's not something that's with deep love. It's always lust. Like, just me growing up. We never talk about this because we think this is normal, or it is, but a lot of times this is dysfunction. And this is why we lustful. You got to realize that the males are very visual. We're written off as slow. We don't know better, or we could figure it out. But the thing is, like, the male brain, especially when you're young, is sensitive, and it's also very visual. That's why they have action figures. Men, we like action. We like stuff like that. What do you think when it comes to a woman's body, her figure? The male brain is very visual, bro. We see a lot. We know what a woman is. When a woman is like in her element, in that type of nature, that, or anybody that actualness, like, we know that at a young age. Even us not going through the period we have like our hormones all over our body, our brain still knows what that is. And people don't realize that. Our brain is very visual. And society takes advantage of that. And then you go on your Instagram feed or whatever feed, you go on Facebook and you see a certain type of girl. She's always on just the way her body is, or she don't even have to do anything. She don't even have to say anything. And you just lost for words when it comes to her. You didn't even know, like, you started off as a normal kid growing up or whatever, and you just doing whatever you do, right? And you see this girl on your For You page, and it's like, damn, something about her, like her body, like, it's just so right. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Oh, we cannot say pause because we straight, so, just something about her. A lot of the times you didn't ever realize that it's something that happened in your childhood that you saw about a woman. Like maybe they came off a certain way. Maybe something happened around you. I'm not saying it had to happen to you. And it was a woman with that type of figure, that type of thing. You see, energy is very contagious, bro. That's why you think you have like a lot of, you have jealousy energy, you have negative energy, you have lust energy. And that energy does not leave. That energy goes deep in your subconscious brain, and it gets reprogrammed through the years in your life growing up. You know, like when you're in school, like you can even be in elementary school. You think these kids are talking about, oh, this is what I learned in school, and that you're in the lunch table. You think they're talking about stuff like that? Nigga, they talking about what they see at home, bro. They talking about stuff. They talking about that. They talking about all types of stuff. They're not talking about stuff like that. I'm not saying you was open. You're not gonna just talk about it because you don't want to let out certain stuff. You don't want to tell your business out. You just kept it like it was normal to you. You know, but you don't even know why you're so like lustful. You know, just look at the women that your father choose. Like, I'm not saying your father's the type of guy. You notice how the women that you like or whatever, not like, but just physically attracted to, even if you think on a deep level, your dad chose women like that, bro. You don't realize that, bro. Yeah, I'm starting to, it's all trying to make sense. Like, the woman that you like may like with a certain figure, with a certain taste. You gotta look at your history. Probably your father chose women like that. Probably your friend. It's probably was sown to you without you even realizing it, and you're attracted to it for whatever reason. And it's probably not in a good way, because a lot of it is like deep rooted, you know, and it doesn't leave. A child brain is sensitive, bro, especially a male's brain. We're very visual, man. Very, very visual. And people like to act like it's not a thing, it's normal. But it could be a detriment to some guys, because a lot of guys are addicted to the PMO. Me, I'm not really addicted to it. I could have certain thoughts, lustful thoughts, but I can kind of hone on myself. I can kind of control it. Like, I can control it, like, but some guys like battle with it every day. They can't let certain girls go or that. It's not even that they can't let a girl go. They're going to move on. But it's something about her, just the way. And it just carries on with them in their mindset. You know, on how they like look at women. Not that they say they don't respect women. They do. But it's just something that they can't let go, because it's deep rooted. You know, and they go down this rabbit hole. You know. So a lot of it is like why we are certain ways deep rooted, or what we saw, or what was talked about. Hey, you gotta go for that girl. You see that girl? Yeah, bruh. Yeah, she lit. See that? Oh, look at her face. She's so this and that. When we're growing up, that's going through our subconscious brain. We're like, damn, what is she? And then we get curious. We look. We may not tell nobody, and we look deeply at it. It's like, damn, she is. Your brain starts to get all nervous because you're just thinking about it. Maybe she came around you. And then it starts to plant these seeds of thoughts. And then you look, and it goes deeper and deeper, and then there you know it. You're so lustful for no reason. You know? Every time you're around a girl, you feel safe because you have this lust. And that's not your fault. We all have our reasons. Or she may have lust. A lot of the reasons why these girls may be a certain way, because like they say, like mother, like daughter. A lot of people around them, a lot of their mothers or girl was a certain way. We're gonna act like these people just came out being lustful to the way they are. No. A lot of times these girls, when they dress a certain way, a lot of times the woman or people in their family was that exact same way. Literally was a certain way, but they want to take it off. Oh, not the girl now, but her people want to be like, oh, you're a Christian. No. her aunties, mothers, or whatever want to try to shame and gaslight her for being a certain way, but they were the exact same way growing up. If you really look at them photos, if you really go through them photo galleries, if you really look, but they want to shame her for whatever reason when they were that exact fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. And that's why she's doing the same shit. She's acting a certain way. It's literally almost in her DNA. You know? You want to shame her for going out or whatever just to trying to leave the house. Just to get some fresh air. And she's dressed a certain way. I ain't gonna lie, be too crazy when they be dressing. But, you know, you gotta just do what you have to do sometimes. Or whatever the case is. So it may look like she's attention seeking, but she's just whatever. She's trying to be free. But you don't think she remembered the time I had where a random guy came at the house acting like mother and the guy was cool? The guy put some mother under the table, not knowing what's going on under. You think she's stupid? Like, come on now, bro. Why is she so good at what you do? Acting random, you know, just guys, like, just casting, doing it. Maybe mothers or aunties or whatever, grandma was doing the same crap. And it just happened to be in her. It's just so easy. And she grew up, like they say, she grew up fast. Ain't no growing up fast. You a damn child. You don't know, like, a lot of times it's an environment, especially if you're in the my colored community. Like, we see it's in our environment, but we like to be religious about it. Or we think it's normal. Or we hide it, we put it under the brush. Like certain races, like Caucasian, you know, white and people, it may not, I don't know if it may be a problem with them. They kind of a little open with it, but with us, we try to put a religious mask on it when we see it right in front of our face. And then we like to, you know, and just what certain people go through, the abuse and, you know, just the grooming and all that, all type of stuff. Just looking at your child a certain way. Like, me growing up, like, in my household, like, the children would be growing up and the parents would be like, oh, I see her growing up. Okay, she's so pretty. I'm like, why the fuck is you actualizing her? Like, yeah, she's growing up, she's getting them hips and her thing is poking. Like, why you looking at her some way? That's kind of creepy. And they will compliment children. Like, that's gross. Like, to me, that's like, you can say that, well, I like your hair, you know, I like the way you're dressed, you're good, but why are you complimenting her physical body? Like, what the fuck? Like, I seen this growing up all this time. Look at her, she's so, you know, or whatever. Like, I seen this growing up, bro. It was just weird to me. Like, you don't think you like actualizing her? She gonna think that I could use this to my benefit. And then she turns into this, you know, lustful figure of women that guys just can't let her feet go. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird, bro. Adults be literally actualizing or fantasize, just the way they talk about their children or other people's children, the people, and the parents take it as, oh, it's a compliment. It's in our communities. Like, what the fuck? No, that's weird. You're literally planting the seed of thought. Like, why are you speaking to them? You didn't tell them to have a great future, you know, pick the right person, you know, be great for your parent, but you want to actualize. Like, that's disgusting, bro. A lot of people we know, we grew up with, they were lustful people. And they take it as normal, and somehow it's passed down to us. But we want to hide it and feel sinful about it because we think it's not normal. But it's been normalized, really, to kind of hide it. You know, or certain things that went on in our life. That energy, that lust energy does not go away. It goes deep in your brain and it comes to the surface. It does not go away. So this is why I want to talk. This is just to wrap it up. Why certain people, especially guys, or even women, are like lustful. You know, but it's deep rooted. It's usually childhood. You know, 9 times out of 10.